Hi, it's just a short one from me today. I just want to share with you my enthusiasm and excitement about a fish that I've just discovered. It's the koi swordtail. Now, it's a little odd that I hadn't noticed these before. I'm not sure what it is or why I hadn't seen them. There are koi varieties of all sorts of fish nowadays. There's koi angels, there's koi betta fish, um, and I guess I just never noticed koi swordtails before. Um, they're beautiful fish. I mean, that's one of the big things I want to emphasize. They're like fire and ice. Typically, they have very white, albino white, you could say, uh, as part of their coloration, and the other part is this bright flame orange. It's like looking at iron coming out of the furnace. Very exciting, very vibrant, um, almost supernatural. The colors are just so impressive. I've kept swordtails for a long time. I'm used to keeping them. I just don't know how these guys evaded my attention. Anyway, what happened was I wanted to restock the swords in my 230-liter tank here. So I went down to the local aquatics center and I picked up a handful of just general swords from their varietal tank. And one of them, it turned out, was a koi sword. I don't know how it ended up in the bag of fish that I took home. But it was a male, and I was looking at him and I just thought maybe I should get a few more. And, you know, I think one of the females that I had died as well. So I went down there to get a few more, and I said to the young lady working there, can I get 3 female swords? And she said to me, oh, do you want regular swords or do you want koi swords? And I thought, koi swords, oh, that sounds interesting. Anyway, she took me over to the tank where they were keeping them, and then I realized that the male that I had at home with his fiery orange and his cold white scales was a koi sword. And I said, I've got to have more of these koi swords. This little boy need some mates. So I got them home, and I'm going to show you the release here on the video. I acclimatized them to the water. I transferred them to a jug, and you can watch as they swim away into the tank here. Straight away, the female fish integrated with the rest of the inhabitants of the tank, and right away the male koi swordtail that I already had was curious about these new arrivals, and it just looked fantastic. I was so pleased with what was going on. So I really recommend these fish. If you're new to the hobby, swordtails are called Xiphophorus hilari. That's their Latin name. Koi swords are exactly the same as keeping regular swords. Their coloration is different. It's exciting. All the while I've been used to swords that are, like orange with maybe a black outline on the sword that the males develop at the end of their tails. There's tuxedo swords as well, and there are swords with, for example, black fins or a black tail and an orange body. They're very resilient. They're excellent fish for a community tank. They hold their own against much larger fish, but at the same time, they're not too aggressive themselves with smaller fish. I mean, when I say that, there's always the possibility that you'll get individuals that are aggressive with other fish, but I find them typically quite placid. A lot of the aggression that goes on is in between the fish, males on males, but also males on females. In fact, in a lot of my experience keeping swordtails, It's been the females harassing the males. Uh, Maybe that's just me. Um, if you read up on swords, what you'll see is that um, fish keepers recommend you keep 1 male to 3 females as a ratio. Um, the thinking there is along the lines that the males want to mate all the time, and they will harass the females over this objective. But like I said, in the past, I've had situations where a couple of females have been ganging up on the male fish all the time, and that's ended badly. Swords will eat a variety of foods. They'll eat at the bottom, they'll eat in the middle, they'll eat at the top. You can give them pellets, you can give them flakes. They'll tackle right in on sinking foods and things like that. They also like a nibble of vegetables. So if you throw in a piece of cucumber or a piece of zucchini, or as they call it, courgette here in the UK. They're live bearers as well, and that puts them in the same category with guppies and mollies and plotties. This means that the fish don't lay eggs. The babies emerge from the female's abdomen fully formed, in the same form as the adults of the species. Normally, a healthy female will give birth to 5, maybe 10 babies, but it can be as many as 20 or 30. The bigger the fish, the more she can produce. If you have a pregnant female sword, you'll know, but in the same way that you would know if you had a guppy, there's a gravid area to the back of the abdomen, which gets enlarged. Sometimes you can even see the babies right inside the fish if you get up close. Their eyes might be visible. As with babies of just about any kind of tropical fish, the biggest threat is other fish in the tank. However, swordtails are a species that don't protect their young, so the threat includes the fish's own parents. In fact, I've seen a female sword give birth to a baby and literally turn around and eat it. So if you want to breed swords or keep the babies alive once they're born, it's a good idea to have a good layer of carpeting plant, for example, at the bottom of the tank, where the babies can sink to the bottom and go in there and hide and grow bigger. Or you could get a plant like Valisaria, this tall grass-like plant here. The baby fish can swim into that. It's a complex form. It's much harder for the adults of all species to see them hiding in there, and they'll probably be reluctant to chase them in there. They'll get bored quickly and go and do other things. Floating plants like frogbit with long roots that hang down are also an excellent choice. The babies can swim up there in amongst those roots, hidden away in the shadow of the leaves above as well, which helps conceal them. Another option is to get a breeding trap. The idea that there is that the trap floats on the surface. You put the female in when she's pregnant, and when she has the babies, they fall through the slats that are near the bottom of the trap. The babies are contained in there, and she can't get at them and eat them. When she's finished having the babies, you keep them in there. You can take the slats out and rear them for a while until they're big enough to go and integrate with the other fish in the tank. The other curious thing about live bearers is that in certain circumstances, female fish can turn into male fish. This can happen with guppies and plotties. I've never seen it happen with swordtails, but you know what's funny is that since I've bought these koi swordtails, one of the females that I've got is, I think, turning into a male. The male fish has like a thin anal fin, which, you know, could be seen as like a penis. The female fish has a normal anal fin, which is fully formed and shaped. So if what appears to be happening happens, I'm probably going to have to go up to the pet store and get a few more female koi swordtails, and I have absolutely no problem with this because I think they're excellent fish. For me, and with this 230-liter tank, they just bring a pop of color that I'm really excited about. This tank needs work. The rocks are all dark with algae. There's quite a dark coloration in a lot of the plants, like the Anubias and so on. And so until I actually get in there and perhaps get some new substrate in and replant everything, this is my solution to add beautiful fish like the koi swordtail to my tank. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I hope it's been enlightening. If you're new to the hobby, please feel free to ask questions in the comments below. Even if you're not new and you just want to say something or comment, please do. If you want to, if you like what you see, also hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll be bringing you some more helpful fish and aquascaping and planted tank videos soon.